Then the last day, Jemele, like everybody's last scenes, like we would all go and watch everybody else's last scenes and we would record it or we would take pictures, etc. And then at the wrap party, they put like a whole video together of everybody's goodbye to, and a Negro was in tears.
What you did for that character was, it's one of the best characters in television history. I put Randall Pearson for sure on the Mount Rushmore of Black television fathers. Absolutely. You're on that. You're on that list.
Thank
But
you.
I know that it's impossible to probably sum up everything in a 6-year journey. But for you, when it ended, what did that feel like?
Bittersweet. I knew it was going to be 6 years from the beginning. Like Dan Fogelman was clear. He said, I got 6 years of story. Like he wanted to do 13 episodes a season. He's like, I could stretch it to 18, but like I really just have 6 seasons of a story that I want to tell. So I knew as we were coming to the end, and everybody else was like, well, is it going to be another season? You're going to keep going. It's like, no, it's coming to an end. So you're kind of able to prepare in that way. But as we were getting to like the last 4, 5 episodes, you know what I'm saying? Sue would look at me, Susan Kelechi Watts, she said, SK, it's almost done. I'm like, Sue, don't start. And she said, SK, you ain't even gonna cry. Like everybody think you all soft and stuff. You ain't even gonna cry. And I was like, I need to focus on what I'm doing right now, woman. Leave me alone. And then like, Chrissy would come up to me and she's like, SKB, we're almost done. And I'm like, I know. Then the last day, Jemele, like everybody's last scenes, like we would all go and watch everybody else's last scenes and we would record it or we would take pictures, etc. And then at the wrap party, they put like a whole video together of everybody's goodbye to, and a Negro was in tears. Like it was such a beautiful group of people because I think if we didn't actually authentically love one another, I think the show would have had a different alchemy. But because you were dealing with people who cared about each other and cared just as much about the story that they were telling, I think that's what people felt when they watched us together on screen.
Yeah, it was emotional. Because I didn't jump into like the second or third season. I was writing my memoir and I needed TV to watch. And then I realized like, oh, this is not the multitasking show. Like I need to really, really pay attention. And I
Yeah.
just got completely hooked. And I would just I hate in a way that I didn't watch it in real time because social media would go through the emotions. And so I'm
Yeah.
just crying in my room by my damn self. Like I can't even talk about this because everybody done already saying this shit. It's like, okay, all good. It's okay.
Oh,
Um,
good.
but never, you mentioned how you guys, they cut that video for social media. However, the big one I think that a lot of people remember is y'all doing the wobble. So whose idea was that?
We have a social media coordinator. Her name is Sarah Wareheim, who is absolutely wonderful. And she's like, look, you guys are all in your wedding stuff or whatever. Like, can I get you guys to do something? I was like, yo, when I'm at weddings, there's a few dances, like, whether it's cha-cha, whether it's electric. I was like, it would be a lot of fun. We could bust a wobble on them, right? And they're like, ooh, what's the wobble? And me and Sue was like, let's show them how to do this wobble real quick. And so everybody got, like, as soon as I showed them, everybody just started practicing it over and over again. I was like, yo, we doing this wobble? And they're like, heck yeah, we doing this. When Mandy Moore jumps on board with the old age makeup, and Mandy's like, "Look, we about to do this wobble," and she was pregnant too. She's like, "I don't give a. We doing this dance," and it's just like everybody gets caught up in everybody else's energy, and we just have fun. That's the thing people forget about the show. Like as many tears as we induced, the counterbalance is when the camera is off, we are just vibing really, really hard. We had the best time.
What are some of the memorable fan encounters that you've had? Because I imagine because of the subject matter, obviously your character is, a black child grows up, obviously, who is adopted by a white family, the racial
Yeah.
dynamics, which I always love the fact that This Is Us never shied away from those.
Yeah.
But I imagine that people probably come up to you and discuss very heavy things related to what they've seen on the show. So what are some of the memorable fan encounters that you can recall?
They constantly do. Like it's not like just a innocuous sort of fan encounter. It is you saved my life. It is you made me quit this job. It is you made me adopt this child. Like, like you inspired me to do these things, right? Like I've had people say, like, I decided to pursue my birth father after I watched your storyline. Like deep, heavy, heavy stuff. And you're like, wow, it makes a difference. Like sometimes you forget and you think you're just telling a story for the purposes of entertainment. And entertainment is part of it. Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. But when you actually inspire people to make changes with the media that you are producing, like it's such a sweet and wonderful spot as an actor to know that you authentically are making a difference, right? Like it may not touch everybody exactly the same way, but when those fans come up to you, there's a brother that came up to me. Sue and I were shooting something in downtown LA, and he literally said, "Hey man, y'all saved my brother's life. Like I know you're busy right now. I don't want to take up a bunch of your time. This is pro-COVID." He said, "Can I just give you all a hug and tell you thank you?" And he just hugged me. He hugged Sue. He said, "God bless," and was on his way. That's it.
Now, I don't know. Sometimes the actors will say when they read the material, they're not sure. But was there a moment or moments where you knew that this show was going to hit much differently than other television dramas, that it was going to be that meaningful for people?
The pilot was dope. One of the best pilots I ever got a chance to read. But just because you got a good pilot doesn't mean you got a good show. Like sometimes things drop off, right? For me, like after episode 4, which was the swimming pool, and Randall was talking
Mm,
about how he would look at people at the swimming pool and wonder like if they were related to him, etc. My cousin called me. My cousin is a plus sized woman. She is an opera singer, so she's an entertainer. She was adopted by our grandparents because her mom had her at a young age. And she said, Sterling, she said, I know you're getting a lot of like props for this whole Darden thing or whatever, and you were good. Like that was cool. She said, but this show, this one right here, this is like church and therapy all rolled into one. She says, I am Kevin, I am Randall, I am
mm,
Kate. Like the way in which she saw herself in the characters, it was profound. And that thing got echoed a lot. Like people would be like, it was like family therapy time. They would get together and watch it with their kids in real time. And then they would talk about it afterwards, right? Like, I think if water cooler is still happening, I think it was close to water cooler television.
yeah, and that's hard to do. It's like not in this age of streaming and binge watching. You have your show, you have Game of Thrones. Like, there's just not that many
Yeah.
those type of shows where you want to build a community around it. And so I think that's a testament to how well that show was done.